In the long list of never-ending things to do on the homestead, the garden here, it kind of just got forgotten. So today, we are putting the garden to bed, which means cut all the grass, clear out everything. We're not gonna till. We're gonna be doing a different method that I'm gonna explain to you over some voiceover. Let's get started with mowing.
Tilling the ground is what European agriculture has done for centuries, and then we brought it over here too. But the problem with tilling the ground is that we lose topsoil. In any field or woods, the only place that has bare ground is where man has touched it. And I'll explain more in a bit.
But now all this, whoa, and look at that. It is now completely mowed down. And now we're gonna start working down here on these tomato plants.
This is the garden before I mowed, and this is the garden after I mowed.
All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in here and I'm going to cut down all the plants in here, the tomatoes, the weeds, everything, to the base, ground level. I don't need to go deeper than that because all the root systems there are nice organic matter that are going to enrich the soil even more. And then after I clear all that out is when I'm gonna prep it. We're gonna use bunny poop for our manure, for our compost, and then a layer of either mulch or leaves. So enjoy this time lapse.
Now, science is catching up and realizing there's a whole world of microbial life underneath the ground. When you yank them up or turn over the ground, you actually end up killing a lot of healthy, good bacteria. It's a whole micro ecosystem of just teeny tiny little bacteria and organic matter that's really good for the overall health of the soil. So what does it mean to put the garden to bed? We've only started doing this last year, and we only did it in a couple of spots, but our plants grew really well in those spots. Where I didn't do it, we had a drought, and I didn't get a lot of produce, so it clearly is very effective.
All right, so now you can see we have this whole stretch here. All the tomato plants are gone, all the weeds are gone for the most part. All this little bit of, organic matter is fine, like these extra tomatoes. Those will just compost right there as we go along. So now we're going to take this whole row here and we're going to go get some bunny poop. We're going to do about 2 to 3 inches of bunny poop over the entire section, and then we'll do a layer of mulch or leaves, whichever one we have more of. All right, so this right here is our bunny poop system. We have these black trays right here that slide in and slide out, and it has collected all their poop for the last few weeks. I'm a little late to changing it. Sorry, Mom. But I'm gonna slide the tray out, grab a bucket, and just scoop all that poop up, and then throw it down onto the garden.
I do have compost that I've made myself, but this rabbit poop needs to be getting rid of, and since it's a cold manure, you can get thrown right on any plants or anywhere in the garden, and it will never burn a plant.
All right, and there you go, just like that. This bed is now clean, and we put this nice layer of sawdust to absorb his urine, so that way it doesn't smell bad. All right, we're back. It's actually the next day. We finished up with all the bunny poop yesterday, and today we're going to be putting on more compost and mulch.
I want several inches so that the bottom inch over the winter and then into the spring is already decomposing. So then all I have to do is slide away some wood chips, pop my plant in the hole. And what's crazy is that the bed that I tested this on last year stayed moist at the drought, had far fewer weeds, and produced better, bigger, and more produce. So I'm just looking to be just like God out in all of nature and cover my garden with things that will keep contributing to its fertility.
All right, so we just finished all the last of the mulch on this bed. So as you can see, this was the hay from the bunny poop, so that's why I put that there. But then you see we have a few inches. If you come look, you can really see, dig down, we really have mulch, like it's a good half of a hand's width here of mulch, or deeper in some areas. And all this mulch is going to keep that compost all here, bunny poop all here, nice and protected. Come the springtime, we will show you the results. So I'm going to show you up here real quick. So this little ring here of tomato plants did really well. This is one plant, and it has just, it still has tons of tomatoes. We've already had multiple frosts, but all right in here in this ring last year is when we first tested putting the garden to bed for the winter. We just did it for this and a couple other beds. This did really, really well. You can just see we did not weed this bed once. So because it's covered with good soil and mulch, we just planted the seeds. We have all these beautiful pepper plants. They did really well. They got really big. We had very minimal weeding and we had a really great harvest for that. Next, we're gonna do this garden bed up here for garlic. So I actually just have a video about this. I'll put a link down in the description underneath. This bed I just made out of pallet wood just last week. I'm gonna do a good inch or two of compost and then a few inches of mulch, and I really want this coming up to about here. Now we'll get the garlic, we'll plant it, and then we'll cover the whole thing with mulch, and it'll be ready next spring. All right, so what I have here is a early Italian garlic. This is after it's been broken off. You can see this part right here. This is gonna be buried down because that's its root system. So I'm gonna lay these out all 6 inches apart, but I'm gonna do it in a stagger. So it's gonna go 4 and then 3, because then I can get them closer. I can get them 6 inches apart, you know, this way instead of just only 6 inches apart that way. All right, and this is the last garlic to plant. We just go 4 inches down. It's because I just put this layer of compost, I don't even need a little spade. You just do it with my hands. And you're just gonna cover back up with compost. And now I'm gonna get a layer of leaves for this whole bed. I forgot to mention, before the leaves, we actually wanna douse this whole bed with water. Now onto some leaves. There we go. We have our garlic completely planted. And other than that, all we have left to do is a few more beds and patches in the garden, and we'll be all put down for winter. All right, it is day 3 of putting the garden to bed for winter. Let's get on it.
And I just had to do one last final harvest before I could compost and leaf everything.
Look at this sweet potato. That's so cool. There we go. All right, and just like that, we're officially not done with the garden, but we're done with this video. I think I've shown you guys enough of how to clear out all the greens, layer the compost, layer the leaves, or layer the mulch. Other than that, plant your garlic if you want winter garlic, get all your beds ready, get it all done, and just see that the harvest you reap next year is gonna be better than ever before. Thanks for watching. And this is the after.